So oil prices dropped to zero, dropped to negative. Now before you go to your petrol station and pump up your car and then bring barrels of empty cans to fill on oil, watch this whole entire video before you do that, okay? Now let's talk about what the heck just happened. How will it impact you if you're a trader and investor? How will it impact you if you run a company or if you work for a company? Most importantly, how will it affect you as an individual? If this is the first time you're on my channel, I'm a Singapore-based speaker. By now you should know, because of the decrease in demand, people are staying at home and hence people are not flying, people are not traveling, people are not going out, and hence the demand for oil decrease. So a decrease in demand followed by an increase in supply, not only increase in supply but oversupply. America has ran out of place to store oil. And earlier this month in the OPEC meetings, the OPEC members decide to cut oil production by as much as 10%. But even with those efforts, there is little impact because oil is still in the oversupply zone. So the United States has decided to cut oil supply. Russia and Saudi Arabia has decided to cut oil supply. So supply and demand are the ones that drive oil prices. Another thing that drives oil prices is speculation from traders and investors. So what a lot of traders do is that they would bid all futures contracts. You have the Wall Street traders trading futures, holding their trades for a short period of time to gain short-term profits. So once in a while when you see a sudden spike in oil prices, it might be due to pure speculation, okay? Another thing is that the big players, the institutional investors, they are also invested into oil as part of their portfolio management and asset allocation strategy. And moreover, in May, futures contracts, they are due on Tuesday, which is today as of the filming of this video. And because futures traders don't want to take delivery of those oil and then incur a ton of storage costs, they had to in a way pay other people to take those deliveries away. And because of all these factors combined together, this leads to oil price downfall, which is history in the making. Oil prices turned negative for the first time. So oil prices fell all the way to negative $37. Anybody who wants to sell oil would have to pay the buyer $37, which really doesn't make sense, but yes, technically this is what it means. This would also mean that a barrel of oil is worth less than a freaking roll of tissue paper. In fact, the barrel that stores the oil is more expensive than the oil itself. Even if you fill your hotel car with petrol, where the heck are you going to go? So I know a lot of headlines, they are trying to make you panic. Okay, oil prices drop all the way to zero or negative. Don't need to panic because it is just referring to all contracts delivered for May. Okay, because the oil contracts that's going to be delivered in June is still trading at $20+, which is still pretty low. Even though WTI, which tracks the US benchmark, fall to below zero, but Brent crude oil, which tracks the Europe benchmark, is trading above $20. So just trying to give you some perspective. And USO has been down more than 10% since yesterday, but XOP went up by more than 1%, even though XLE went down. Okay, this makes sense because USO, it has more exposure. It has more direct exposure to oil prices, and hence when oil prices fall, you also see USO being impacted more than the other ETFs. Now, how does this impact traders who went all in just because oil prices are low? Look at what happened. Traders piled 1.6 billion into oil ETF last week, right before oil prices went negative for the first time in history. All I can say is, for those traders who perform proper asset allocation, they are not going to get affected too much. But for those who over leverage, go all in into any of the oil ETFs, into the oil CFDs, they are going to get burned for sure. Now, what does this mean for companies? I'm just going to talk about all companies in this case. It's almost the same as compared to individuals. For those who over leverage on their debts, they are going to get killed. Because when times are good, all companies have a tendency to accumulate more and more and more debt. Of course, this is the nature of the industry, but when it goes out of control and this kind of thing happens, it's going to cause a lot of bankruptcies. So of course, you see a couple of oil stocks making a massive drop since the start of Corona time. For example, Noble Energy Incorporated, ExxonMobil, which did not seem to have a significant impact. But for those companies with really bad balance sheets, they are going to face potential bankruptcy. When oil gets cheaper and cheaper, you are going to see a lot more companies, all companies getting bankrupt. And not only all companies, but also companies which rely on oil to perform business. So is this super bad news for all companies or for those people working in the energy sector? Now the good news is that for those who have strong balance sheets, they are going to see some of their competitors getting slaughtered. And these are companies that's going to benefit because they have the liquidity to sustain this temporary downturn. They have good amount of cash flow to sustain this temporary setback. So it's not all doom and gloom for companies. If you're invested into an oil company and their balance sheets are looking good, income statements are looking good, don't panic. What does this mean for countries? Now for all producing countries, they might start to panic a little bit, but for all importers, for example China, they might feel a little bit relieved from this because right now China is starting to ease on their lockdown. They're starting to go back to normal, and hence you see the demand for oil gradually increase. So if you are looking to China companies, now is a good start. By the way, if you want me to go through some good China companies, let me know down in the comment section below as well. How will this affect you? First thing first, don't expect to go to the petrol station and then only to have the pump attendant give you oil for free, because that is going to only happen in your dreams. But the good news is that you will see oil prices becoming cheaper and cheaper. You have the liquidity and extra cash to do it. Fill up all your cars. You have 10 cars, fill all of them up. This means that no matter if you go to the petrol station, you choose to fly somewhere else, you are going to save hundreds of dollars. But if you are personally an employee of an energy company, you might see your job getting less and less secure. Now, to those people who like to twist my comment and say that, then why are you telling people not to get a job? Did I say that? Or is it because you don't understand simple English? What I'm trying to say is that if you have a job, have a secondary source of income, like a side hustle, doesn't have to be trading, investing. So then what should you do right now? Trump recently just announced that the government is going to buy 75 million barrels of oil for their national reserve. And hence, because of that, Trump said that this is a great time to buy oil. But even with this, there are still concerns that US is still not going to have enough space to store oil, because it became so bad that right now people have to resort to storing oil in oil tankers. Can you believe that? But what do you think about what Trump said? Is it a great time to buy oil or not? So the thing is, what should you buy specifically? What stocks should you buy? What commodities should you look at? What currencies should you buy or sell? Now, I've done a free course a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Before I put it up in the screen, to those doubters, I just want to ask you, if I'm a freaking scammer, will I produce 500 videos and not sell you a freaking course, paid course? And all I do is send people to free videos, free courses, putting in more than 2,000 hours of work onto this, while you are there helping nobody. You cannot even help yourself. So to my supporters, I'll put the free course and videos you can watch on the screen right now. Okay guys, with that, I'll talk to you in the next episode. Bye.